It's that chat, come join the fun. Laughing, sharing everyone. Heart to heart, but never apart. Together we make the best of
Golly, that's a long song. That's a long song. I was like, when's it gonna stop? When's it gonna stop?
All right. All right, Janet. Hello, everyone.
Everyone.
Welcome
I'm
back.
Yang Kai.
Yes, and I'm First Lady Hetty. Welcome back to SistaChat TV. We are
SistaChat TV.
period.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. We're happy to be back for another discussion,
Yes.
another hot topic. But before we get started, if you haven't already, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok. And if you can't see the screen, it is SISTA chat CHAT on YouTube and on TikTok. For Instagram, it is SistaChat TV 25. So please like, share, and subscribe. If you love me, as you say you love me, if you love Sister Y'all like you say you love Sister Y'all, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay.
And again, we want to thank you guys so much. Thank everybody here for your support, your messages, your shares, your likes, your comments. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So anyway.
Thank you so much. And I did Fantanamba, right?
Me pacho.
No worries. Next time, don't worry.
Don't
worry.
Next time.
So thank you again. And we want to also shout out to our EP, both Daddy P and Pastor Ben.
And Pastor Ben.
On top of us. But look, today EP said we are not going overtime. Okay? He is on top of it. So we're going to be
And we will have to do like a part 2, 3, and 4. Let's go.
Yes. So, but before we get started, please, if you have not already, the Legacy Building Toolkit webinar is coming on this March the 9th.
The 9th is Sunday, right?
Sunday, March the 9th at 4 p.m. Please scan the QR code. Please join. I'll be on. Sister Y'all will be on.
Yes.
We're trying to get our money right, our finances right.
Get our finances right. All the projects we have in Ghana. Thank you. So we will scan the code, Mama. We will scan the code.
Scan the code, please.
Oh, yes, scan the code.
Please scan the code and join us as we discuss financial tools that we can use to make sure our
financial
money's
freedom.
right.
That's what we all want.
Because we can't afford for our money to be acting funny. No, ma'am. No more. We rebuke
No, ma'am. We have passed that. We have passed that. Okay. Let's go.
So today we have another topic on the board on SistaChat TV. Now I want to give out a full disclaimer. This is our own personal views. Do not in any way, shape, or form take it as law, but this is our own personal views based on experience.
We're not licensed, Ms.
No, ma'am.
It is okay, baby. Don't come here. And you have to have a lawyer. Yeah, lawyer. Retain a fee, cry.
Yes, we want to hear a lawyer.
Please. Please. Listen, I believe in learning from everybody.
Absolutely.
And so whether good or bad, I make mental notes and then I just kind of see, how it's going to work for me.
Exactly.
So that's what this is all about. This has nothing to do with, hey, I understand to
No. So today we have a hot topic, but I want to shout out Sister Y'all. Sister Y'all, hey. You are like a tropical
ray of sunshine.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Oh, flowers. Yes,
too much. Too much, dear, too much.
And but when who said what's on? What do you so? Look
I'm
at that.
trying.
Look
I'm
at that,
trying to
so
say.
mommy.
I'm
The
trying
makeup
to
is
say.
makeup pen.
Hey,
The
the
hair is
eyelashes,
hairing.
eyelash.
The glasses are glasses.
I can't. I'm sorry. So, so today's topic, before the EP comes with the hand gestures, today's
Uh-huh.
topic
Mm-hmm.
is surviving the first 5 years of marriage.
Oh,
Survival of the fittest.
mama.
Yeah,
Don't
this
get me
time next
started.
year. Today,
5 years. Maybe they I don't think say a five. For me, I think it's about 8. And I'm not. Hey,
you had an extension. Oh my goodness.
maybe the
Those
name
first 5 years.
extended.
Those first
Extended
5 years.
version.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. So
Hmm.
today we're going to talk about it, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
talked about how we met our spouses. We
Mm-hmm.
kind of have the foundation. Every foundation was different, but we're going to
Right.
talk about those first 5 years. And it is not for the weak.
No.
Okay. It
No.
is not for the weak. So we're going to talk about surviving the first 5 years. All
Okay,
right.
let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's get
go.
into
It's
it.
whatever.
So, okay. So naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is something that was instituted by God, period. Hands down,
Period.
right? And anything that we have to understand as human beings that anything that was made for perfection, the enemy is
Oh,
alert. Oh no, he has nothing else to do.
she unemployed.
Oh,
Unemployment. Whoa. Unemployment in T.
NBBIA. So he
Yeah.
is constantly prowling,
Yeah.
trying to find issues, make trouble, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to marriage, it's no exception, right?
Yep.
So we all have to understand that, everything that was made for perfection is going to have its challenges, it's going to have its obstacles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And the end result is supposed to be beautiful. So we're
Yeah.
going to just talk about, some things that have played a role in the success and sometimes the lack of success in
Yeah.
the
The
first five
failure.
years of
Mm-hmm.
marriage,
Yeah.
right? Because just to introduce it, right? So it's two different people, right?
Yeah.
There's no two people in this world that are the same, right? So there's two different people, two different mindsets, two different environments, two different upbringings, right?
Right.
And they're coming together to coexist in a home, in a house. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how big that house
It,
is, it could be a mansion. But the two personalities coming in, either big or small, have to learn how to coexist. So even in a huge mansion, it's still a
yeah.
small space,
It's still a
right?
small space.
It's
Yeah.
still a small space. And
Mm-hmm.
so that transition in and of itself can create a lot of challenges and a lot of
Yeah.
hurdles, right?
Yeah.
And so your foundation also can also play a role on how you address those challenges. So we're going to talk about the first 5 years and some of the things that walking into them we should be aware of and we should be careful to do and not to do,
Yeah.
right? Now, one of those things to say that I'm going to throw to you
Mm.
is those couple goals on social media.
Oh my God. But you know what? Before we even go to the couple goals,
Yes, ma'am.
um, I think one of the biggest problems is
Yes.
when you court, you get married, and then you're off to live your life. We spend so much time on the wedding
Thank
that
you.
we fail to just kind of, okay, what's going to happen afterwards? And
Right.
when you're doing these things, it may last 4 or 5 hours. You won't even know what's happening. Sometimes you get the video and you'll be like, oh, they were there. Oh, this happened. Because
Right.
it's just so much
So
happening.
much going on.
Right. And then just like that, it's over. It's the two of you. You're buying a house or you're living in an apartment or whatever. Right. And then it's like, oh, wow, ghost in
Right. What
headlights.
then? What
Right.
then?
And
Right.
another trend that happened was that whole couple goals thing.
Right.
And when I was growing up, the only couple goals that we had was either your parents,
Right.
Victor and Nikki. Remember Victor and Nikki from the Young and the Restless? Brooke and Ridge from
Bold and the
Bold and
Beautiful.
the Beautiful.
Bold and the
Timmy?
Beautiful.
Remember Timmy and Amy from the Passions? Okay, Timmy. Tiano. Mama, that's all we had.
That's all you had.
We didn't have couple goals.
Right.
And like with social media and all these people trying to act like their relationships is so perfect.
My
Everything is
goodness.
perfect. I
Right.
saw a couple, not, I think before I went to Ghana sometime last year.
Right.
And when you watch them, they had the perfect family. A little boy, little girl. They would
Right.
dress up alike. Their house was impeccable, like
Right.
clean.
Right.
And what happened was they were going, I think the girl was going out and she was going to come back live or something. She made some little Ibisa. It wasn't even an hour.
Right.
She was in handcuffs.
Thank you.
Why? She was up
What
in
you do?
Target stealing stuff so she can come and do her little live.
You see?
Couple goes.
Couple goals. Couple goals. Is that
um this little guy and this girl, they go on these beautiful trips and they've
right?
got the great pictures and all that. The girl killed him,
Oops.
right? So there, I like when the couple goals thing started and people would always say hashtag couple goals and whatever.
Right.
I was just like, oh my god, I was mortified because you don't know what's happening behind the
Behind closed
scenes.
doors.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And if anything, you need to be trying to do your own couple goaling.
Thank
You
you.
and your spouse.
Couple yourself
You
and
need
goal
to,
yourself. That's
hello.
it. That's it.
But it's like it was just all over social. I haven't seen it recently because I think things are changing.
Right.
But you've never, nobody's ever posted a picture of when her and her husband or whatever first wake up. Have they?
No,
I've never seen one.
I haven't either.
Uh-huh. So people just always want to post. I mean, everybody wants to post pictures when they're at their best. Nobody wants,
Right.
a hair out of place. You should see my camera, girl. I need to pay
Clean it out.
$10 so I could get more space. I
I
got so many
mean,
pictures,
right.
right?
Right.
Because you want to make sure you put the best
The best out
picture
there.
out. So
Right.
it's like I couldn't believe how so many people fell for it, and this couple goal thing, and the disappointment.
Right.
The disappointment.
Right, because the thing is the perception, right? So people are going on social media and they're seeing these certain images and they're thinking in their to themselves that marriage is all about matching. And marriage is about taking cute pictures with your spouse,
Right.
or marriage is about your husband coming with these bouquets with dollar bills wrapped in,
Oh,
and I don't yeah, this is disappointment be them.
my disappointment, baby.
So it's
Disappointment,
a
baby.
So
Hmm.
it's about the perception, right? So they're perceiving marriage to be all rosy, right?
Right.
But the reality of the situation, like you said, is that no one is going to go and post that argument that they had that ended
No.
them at
Mm-mm.
the police station, right? No one's going to do that. Sister, you're not bad boy. No one's going to
Okay.
post that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because they're trying to build a perception. The reality is that is not realistic,
It's
right?
not.
So if you're walking into marriage with the mindset that, oh, marriage is this, is that, and the third, I'm telling you, you will be
Oh,
disappointed.
you will be
Disappointment,
disappointed.
baby.
Mama,
One would.
after that honeymoon stage, that first year, no. And
Yep.
the crowd was no be putting your honeymoon stage.
Right.
Watch I said.
Right.
Because they spend so much time planning the wedding.
Right.
They don't know nothing. I mean, they're like a deer in headlights. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Oh, I'm supposed to do laundry. I'm supposed to cook. Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
That comes. That's a part of
Thank you.
it. Somebody got to
Uh-huh.
do it. Somebody got to do it. Right.
The
So.
disappointment's nipped it. If you're
Right.
not careful, like everybody wants a beautiful wedding. Weddings are beautiful.
Yeah.
Engagements are beautiful. But you got to make sure you're planning for the after.
Right. You understand what you're getting yourself into,
Because
right?
it's so different. Right there. What
Hmm.
dear mama koso? Koso.
Yeah, but we
I
will
said,
get
"Any
there.
man I ever
We
bring
will get there.
we will get there."
So, like we were saying, like the idea that everything is perfect is not realistic, right? So, in marriage, we have to understand that no two people are the same,
Yeah.
right? So, like Sister you're saying, when you're planning when you're planning to have your wedding, marriage is more than just the day,
Mhm.
right? You need to find time to invest in the person that you're about to spend the rest
Yes.
of your life with,
Yeah.
right? Know the person you're going to marry, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're not careful, what ends up happening with these couple goals and these perceptions and these desires, you
Yeah.
begin to try to bring that man that you're seeing on
The Young and the
social media
Restless. Uh huh.
Right. You're trying to make your husband become that person, and he's not that person. Or you're
And you
trying
know
to
what?
make your
Even when you're
wife.
getting to know someone, I feel
Right.
like you're not gonna 100% know them, but you'll
Right.
know enough to make
Enough.
that decision on whether you want to move forward or not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it's,
Right.
I mean, you learn, different things about each other, and you know, just every day in the
Right.
relationship. So you're not gonna know them 100%, but you should
Right.
know enough to be like, you know what, this is somebody I could spend the rest of my life with, and move
Exactly.
that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not try to make the person something or someone that they're not,
Yeah.
right? So if you're seeing someone on social media and they're buying flowers for their spouse and posting it every week, don't go and tap your spouse on the shoulder saying, okay, where are my flowers? Because you
Right.
need to know the person you married.
That's it.
Why didn't? And then so we go, why we got in here? Know the person you are marrying,
Just
please.
if you're getting flowers during courting, just take the pictures,
And enjoy the flowers.
store them, the flower on the ground. If you want to just, put it in a glass and post it on your wall, that's fine. But you
Right.
just need to know that it's going to come back, and
Right.
it should come back. Why?
It is.
You're married. Finances may be different.
Right. Circumstances are different.
Children. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not every day, if it's not every 2 weeks, and it's every month or every quarter,
Right.
still is something. Watch that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I remember when I got married, right? Let me tell
Hmm.
you, Pastor, he was a poet. Okay.
Wow.
With those emails, my
Oh,
butterfly, I mean, I was getting all kind of poetry.
you know
Right.
what? That must be something with a do mindful. Ma, it was long distance, right?
Right.
And back then, again, I'm showing my age, but that's when you used to write letters and mail it.
Right.
And I would get them, and the words would be so sweet. And there was one that said, "What have you done to me? I
Hey.
can't eat. I
Hey.
cannot sleep." I'm saying, "Oh, what
Hey.
have I just meant?" Ah,
Listen.
yo, mama. Some
Poet.
years later, I was still reading because I kept all of them.
Right.
So I was still reading. I said, why them words sound so
So
familiar?
familiar.
I said, "Nyom,
Yes.
let me start to tell you. I need a baker. What have you done to me? I can't eat. I cannot sleep." I'm so, watch. Look at this.
Oh my goodness. But it's true. Like your courting phase is different, right?
Yeah.
Like you're getting the flowers, you're getting the cards, you're getting all of that good stuff. But when you get married, life circumstances, things
And
change.
yeah, my
Like
sister. Yeah.
bills have to be paid. Children
Hello.
start coming. Children start coming in. So you may not necessarily have all the focus on that spouse.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the gifts are going to go down. Because I remember, like Valentine's Day, I used to get like teddy bears the size of human beings. I used to get
Hey.
bouquets. Hey, so for the hey,
Wow,
I used
romance. Mama tell you
romance,
romance.
romance. I used to get like bouquets delivered to my job because at that time I was working in customer service.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
All
used to
right.
get bouquets at customer service, and it
Look
was
at that.
like it was all cute and stuff. But then after marriage, I mean, Valentine's Day slowly a dozen became half a dozen. Then it moved on to STEM. Things change. But as long as you realize that you're not marrying the person for that, and you're
Right.
marrying the person for the person who they are, then you
Right.
don't let those things like dictate how you feel or how you move,
Yeah.
right?
And that shouldn't dictate
Right,
how you feel about the person. And I said, my
right,
wife, oh, he hates me, or why you say, because that's not happening. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You have to know that it's not going to continue for the rest.
It
Some
can,
people
like it's
may,
not realistic.
there
I mean,
may
some people,
be.
hey, to each his own. To each his own.
Right.
Some people are able to continue it forever, but in the case that it doesn't, it is not the end of the world.
It is not the
It
end of
is
the
not the
world.
end of the world, but just realize that life and circumstances can change certain things in your
Yeah.
marriage. And
Yeah.
so you have to learn how to adjust. You have to learn how to
I just,
compromise.
yep.
You have to learn how to also vocalize your desires. Some
Hmm.
people don't vocalize any of their desires in
And that's
marriage.
a huge problem, because when you don't, I feel like that also builds resentment, in you.
Right,
Because I said, you just keep everything in. Debiana, I said, and you know what I'm saying?
right,
And you start feeling resentful towards that person. But as your husband, right? I mean, that's a part of being intimate with your husband,
Right.
is being able to vocalize, your feelings and whatever it is that you want. Who else are you going to talk to if you don't talk to him?
Right.
And when
Right.
people find that they don't want to or they can't talk to their spouse, they start talking to their friends. You
Right.
start talking to your friends, you end up in a WhatsApp group. Watch
Thank
that
you.
space.
Okay, telling all your business.
All the business.
So, vocalizing your desires and meeting the person halfway, right? If you have a certain expectation and you're able to talk to your spouse about it, I just say, "Yeah, I'm in any penny. I can't do it.
I can't.
I can't do it.
Me be crying.
I
I
can't do
can't do
it."
it.
You know?
Meet me here.
So you just have to, okay, you can't do this, meet me halfway,
Yeah,
right? But then if you are in the situation where you don't vocalize yourself, and so you think that your spouse is supposed to read your mind, this is no,
yeah.
no one has time for that.
You got to free your mind. Free
Free
your
your
mind.
mind.
Oh.
Sorry, we digress.
We
So,
digress. All right.
so
Sorry.
right, you have to be able to vocalize your desires and things like that, and understand that you may not. Maybe you had a picture of certain things that you wanted, but you may not get all of it, right?
Right.
But if it is true within yourself that God has really brought this spouse to you, then just trust that God knows what He's doing,
Yep.
right? Trust God, that God knows what He may not do everything that you had on your things to do list, but obviously there's something about this person that drew you to Him for Him to get to the point where you all are getting married,
That's it.
right? So
That's
don't
it.
worry about the couple goals. Don't worry about the things you
No.
see on social
There
media.
is no such thing.
No,
Period.
ma'am.
It be
There's
no.
not. Just
It be
try
no.
to establish your own goal. And the thing
That's
is,
it.
be comfortable in your skin,
Oh,
right? And be comfortable in your marriage.
in your marriage and in your relationship and in the person that you're married
Yes.
to. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because
Yes.
the biggest thief of your joy is
Mm,
comparison.
thank you.
You comparing to your friends, your neighbors, your work friends. Just
Yeah.
when you can't worry with that, you will
Oh.
forever cry. When you can't that.
You won't be happy. You
When you
won't be
can't
happy.
that.
Yeah.
And in marriage, all we want is just peace
Peace.
and happiness.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Because when you have those two things, everything is just like it's everything is just like the icing on the cake. God blesses you with a great job, with
Right.
children, with this, great friends, great circle. Like all of that,
Yeah.
it's just the icing on the cake.
It
So those
is.
should be the two things I believe
Yeah.
we should be working towards, instead of trying to be somebody couple goes girl bye.
Yeah. But then let me add something else, because another thing that I feel like a lot of people face in their first 5 years of marriage has a lot to do with like cultural differences.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Cultural differences.
oh my
And
gosh.
it's funny because I was talking to one of the young ladies and she was like, we should talk about cultural differences. And I'm like, that
No, that's a
you
whole year.
I'm telling, look.
Because
Cultural
the
difference.
thing is, like you were born here.
Right.
Me, I wasn't born here. I came at a young age, did all my schooling here. And to say, me, masame, to say, Mukisha,
You see?
Salan.
But you were Mia Moore. Did you
I
forget
was
yourself?
Mia Moore.
Mia Moore.
You know what I'm saying? I was Mia
Naquay and
Moore. Also,
Mia.
maybe starting schools, I tell me Jamaican. Those were not the days you could say so Frigano. Hey,
It's so
that time I'm free Jamaica. I'm the Kingston.
Shaba, you know.
What I said? You can do that.
Right. So cultural differences are huge
Huge.
in marriage.
Yep.
And like you're saying, like for me, that was one of the biggest challenges I faced in my
Yeah.
marriage is just being able to adapt my culture into his,
Yeah.
right? Because ma'am, I'm Sam Houston bred, all
All
right?
day.
you
All
know,
day long. We ready to go.
I'm ready for whatever, right?
Yeah.
If Kweku Nigel was on he would say, "Look, I'm ready for whatever." All right.
Yep.
So coming from that mindset, and like even it's like simple things like the way you talk,
Yeah.
right? How you communicate can have an impact on your marriage, right?
Yeah.
Because like I remember, like I would say something, I'd be like, "Oh, that's so crazy," and then it'd be
What a
like,
offense. What do you mean? What do you mean that? Hey, ready? Because what do you mean? Yes, I mean, yes, hey, now what do you mean? What do you mean? A offense?
"Is it a crime?"
Is that what?
No,
Hey.
seriously. Like the interpretation of certain things is like so it's so significant, especially when you're getting to know the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like culturally you have so many differences, and it's not even as far as like where your upbringing is, but even the household that you're in,
Yeah.
right? Like there's some people like us, for example, we weren't raised in a household where we saw a flourishing marriage that lasted,
Yeah.
right? And our spouses may have been in a household where they saw their parents together
Mm-hmm.
until death do them part, you know?
Yeah.
And so that alone can bring forth some different cultural differences as well as the environment that you're raised in. So,
Yeah.
like, cultural has played a role, especially even defining the role that you play as a woman or
Yeah.
the role you play as a man in your household. And
Yeah.
so, if we're not able to get down to have those hard discussions and address those cultural differences, it can really bring a
Are we
lot of
discussing
strife.
this found during the foundation, or when are we discussing this?
I mean, I feel like with the cultural difference, you need to be discussing this from inception. Like from the time you guys, the thing is, your courting phase, you're getting to know the person. So you need to be as transparent as possible,
Yeah.
especially if this is someone that God has really told you, and you have that conviction in you that this is supposed to be the person that God has given to you, right?
And go ahead.
You need to be transparent enough to be able to open up and let the person know who you are,
Right.
right? So that at that time, not that they're necessarily trying to change you, but I feel like with growth, certain things can be perfected in
Yeah.
us, right? So like even in the way you talk, right? Maybe saying, "Oh, that's crazy," or "That doesn't make any sense," right?
Right.
Because if you say, "Oh, that doesn't make any sense," to a ganya, upa just said,
On sense.
"Oh, right?"
And that's what
You
I
know,
was trying to say is like, also, our you were born here, I came, our spouses were born in Ghana.
right,
So also Ghana, the way they groom them, the
right.
men are,
Right,
not like you're not the head of the household or anything like that. But I
right.
feel like those things from back in Ghana, right?
Mommy,
When
but
you
still
come
time immemorial.
time immemorial, woba hanuma misra, that woman.
Need you.
Need you. I get up at 6, you get up at 6,
Right,
then I quit Juma, right?
right,
But when we get back, I feel like there's nothing wrong with you helping me to get dinner ready or get the kids
right,
to bed or anything, but just to come and just feel like even I'm your bed anyway.
right,
What we both just got here. And
right.
anyway, you know what I'm saying?
But those are what cause the arguments and the
Yeah,
disputes, right? Because the expectation. But then, like you're saying, for me, I always say marriage is a partnership,
yeah,
right? Of course the man is the head of the household, the woman
always.
is the helpmate, but
Yeah.
we all need each other to function, right?
Hmm.
The head can't operate if the neck can't operate without the neck, and
Amen.
the neck has no existence if there's no head, right?
That's right.
So we
Hmm.
all need each other. So instead of us trying to bring forth cultural norms into our marriage, we have
Hmm.
to make our marriage work for us,
For
you know.
us.
And
Oh,
I take it to one of the things that I like when I first got married. One of the challenges that I faced, right, is that when we were going to women's ministry at that time, we were talking. Even I was going to women's ministry like at 16. I didn't have a choice. Okay,
right.
me and mommy and my opinion. You don't have a choice.
Right.
You want a women's ministry. So
Period.
when they're talking about all the things that they're going, their discussion, they're talking about menopause. I'm 16 years old. I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh
One of the
my
topics,
God.
yeah. So one of the
Oh,
topics was about, your spouse and how to treat your spouse and etc. Right. So of course the cultural, everything that they've known and they've been around is like serving your spouse. You
hmm,
want to serve your spouse, their food and etc. And so I remember when I first got married, I don't know, say na I don't know. Mrs. Suminya
me sure se na nhwehwɛ no mu.
I don't know. I can't
Me
think
sure
fast.
mama.
So when I first got married, it's like I want to serve my husband, right? So every day I would
Okay.
come, I would get his food and I would serve him. And he used to always tell me, like, you don't have to do that. And I said,
Mhm.
oh, but I want to. And so I
Yeah.
would do it. And he would always say, like, you really don't, it's not that I don't like that you're doing it, but you really don't have to do it. And so
Mhm.
sometimes I would even find myself having an attitude like, I'm trying to serve you. I'm wanting
Right.
to show that
Right.
I went to this ministry I led. You see, and I'm
This is what I
following,
learned today.
you know, and I'm following instructions, but it's like you're not receptive to it. But then
Yeah.
I had to realize that, maybe not that he doesn't like it, but he doesn't need that
He
from
doesn't
me.
need that. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so we sometimes like, yeah, sometimes if he needs that from me, then he'll say, oh, can you just do this? And I'll do it. But it wasn't something he needed every single day. Me
Yeah.
cry, oh yes, I cry. I told myself, I said, why don't me? Because me cry, not me, yeah. Ube go school.
My brother.
Abre,
Ubeko school aba.
ube go school.
Wako throw exams and ya F. Wo ba ya wo san bese. Oh my God.
I do.
Wadomo.
You know,
Okay.
so it's finding out what works for you,
Yeah.
right? There's some households, and I don't want to talk too much, but let me just say, there's some households that like the husband prefers to cook, right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's his therapy. That's their
Yeah.
business.
That's
If it works for them, it
oh,
works for them.
that's it.
But it's not our place to say, oh, because the man cooks, the woman is lording over him. No,
Right.
that's what works for them.
That's what works for them. He's not complaining.
No, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? He's not complaining. Like some arguments in the first 5 years really don't have to happen.
At all.
Okay. I wish I would have known it earlier, but like me, I feel like it's just that's just me.
Right.
Is I ain't no punk.
No,
Watch that.
ma'am. No,
I ain't
ma'am.
no punk.
No,
And
ma'am. You know.
in my young stage, my young age, mama, my young age, me I ain't no punk need me ko fire, baby. I me ko share, baby, mama. And me girl. When
Okay.
I was in middle school, right?
Okay.
And it was after I had come from Ghana and stuff. So I was in middle school, and
So were you
recess.
fresh? Were you fresh
Not
or?
even fresh guy because I still had I had a Jerry curl, girl. And you know how mommy
Oh,
used to be the
baby.
one in the kitchen with them little curlers.
Yes,
Yes.
and it was dripping.
Oh, no, it
Dripping
was
in
not.
abundance,
It was
girl.
not dripping. Don't play with me. Thank you. I did not have that activated like that. So we were doing recess, and I
Okay.
don't know how we got into an argument,
Okay.
but we started arguing, right? And like when you start arguing, like
Who is
I said,
we?
Akoya Seko, everybody's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So we're arguing about whatever,
Who
and
is we? Who are you arguing with?
yeah, be minimum, some girl,
Okay.
and so we're arguing at the park or the playground, and she says, "Do you want to fight?" And I
Okay,
said,
let me.
"Yes."
No,
No, no.
no, not
No,
that
minimum said I probably said yes, please. Well, I wasn't gonna need a please, see, and I don't know what English I was speaking up there, but I said yes.
But let's add this that this is in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. We're in the hood. All right. So she
And the
said you want to
school,
fight.
okay, Hanley. And
Okay, so
so she
you
said,
want to fight and you said yes.
she said, "Do you want to?" It was like, "Do you want to fight?" I said yes. So knowing I can't bust a great girl, me sure to make her. So we decided that we were gonna fight across the street because you can't fight at the school because you'll get suspended or paddled or something. So after school, ma'am,
I'm so sorry.
me is that come you.
I'm sorry. That's time.
Next time, yeah, next time. So
Sorry. Oh
the
gosh.
whole the whole rest of the day before school was out,
Okay.
so I said, I could have just taken the bus and went home, but I said, no, I ain't no point.
I'm not
I'm
no fun.
going. And by this time, everybody's like, ooh, it's gonna be a fight, until I'm
Right.
done with
Everyone's
this school,
hyping it
because
up.
school. She came and so we walked across the street. The girl was there waiting, of course, with the audience.
Right.
And I don't know if I was on an angle, but we got there, and those days, and so it's. She said, "Push me," Then I said, no, you pushed me. Because it was like,
Yeah,
like
back
that,
and
right?
forth, right.
So you pushed me to, and I said the fourth one, no. Again, the woman.
Next time.
I fell back. All I could do, I could see birds and stars.
Birds were chirping.
I felt like my eyes had been shaking. It's the Holy way, the Holy Spirit, baby.
Oh my goodness.
I just laid there. I don't know if I played dead. I don't know what happened. If we want to
You
menu,
you you did what was good for you.
oh,
Next
when the
time.
technical knockouts, technical fights, and I
Oh my
review me.
gosh.
No. And I just laid there, and I don't know how I even got home. But my
Right.
dad was there for you, or let me call across the street. It's the one that helped me up. By the time I get up, I had missed the bus. I
Oh
don't even
my
know how
goodness.
I got home. And I'm sitting here like, if I had just chosen to just go home
Right. Right.
and not this whole, I
Before
ain't no
right.
punk, I ain't no punk.
Right. Right.
And by this time, she said, many I say, I've
And
been
then
wearing glasses ever since that Technica. And you see my last glasses, I can't even wear them to work
and
because
then
it's so damn big, right?
oh my goodness.
So it's just like when you're in your first 5 years
Yeah.
and you're argument, instead of trying to get the last word, you know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? Like, I ain't no punk, I'll
Right.
take the last word, I'm this.
I'm not gonna back
It's
down.
only the two of you in there,
Right.
right? So there's no need for you to try to prove to like, you
Who you
have no
proving to?
audience.
Right. Right.
You have no audience. Men, you don't have egos, so sometimes you just gotta just let it go. Pick your battles.
Pick your battles. You got to pick
Pick
your
your battles
battles. You got to pick the battles that are important, right?
that are important.
And just sometimes you just got to swallow the pill. And that was another
Yeah.
thing, like, like you're saying, like you have that, when you have that tough girl mentality, or if you, like, for example, talking about culture, if you're someone who's like the last born, like me, who is used to getting everything that you want, and
Yeah.
then when you get into marriage, you're not necessarily getting everything that you want. It's like, you have to realize that it's not realistic,
Yeah.
so you have to pick your battles. There's certain
You
things that you
have
can
to.
just brush under the rug and
Yeah.
just keep it going. There's certain things that you need to address, because if you don't address it, it might become
Right.
a
Right.
tsunami, right?
Right. Yeah.
But we have to pick our battles and
Mhm.
it's okay to apologize
It
in
really
marriage.
is. It
It's
really
okay
is.
to realize that you didn't do something right. You're
Yeah.
not, by you
It
doing
doesn't
it,
make it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't
right,
make you a smaller person. None of that. But I think, like, the earlier you learn that
right.
in the first 5 years, the better it will be for you.
Yeah, because I
You
feel
know.
like when you, and then some people have the mindset, let me live my life, let me go through it, and I'll figure it out for myself. But like life lessons and experiences, like you're saying, I like to learn from other people,
Yeah.
right? Being in a marriage and being with this person day in day out, and like not having, like, going weeks, 2 weeks
Yeah.
without talking to the person, that's not a happy environment. That's not a
Yeah.
peaceful environment.
Crazy.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
not. Nope. That's
And
not.
then kind of back to the reality of the fact that you guys are trying to coexist. So there's certain things about the person that you're not going to like. There's certain things
Mhm.
that's going to annoy you. Like
Yeah.
toothpaste can end up at the divorce courts.
I
Toothpaste.
mean, I think our toothpaste conversation was a year.
Not a year.
Toothpaste and my hair. When you comb your hair, and the fallout
Yeah.
pieces. When I lived with you guys were the ones that were sweeping it, so I
So
didn't
yeah,
know it
they're
was a
not.
problem.
We were your house girls, right?
Oh, since that time, then that was so to me in my house, girl. And hey, what's this? And to
Udi upenyi kakra.
me said, well, what's that say? Me said a problem.
Right.
But, like, it was a year, and so it was
Yeah.
just one day. I was like, okay, I'm going to everyday sweep,
Right.
right? And then the toothpaste, even though it was something that annoyed me, instead of making it an argument or just going
Right.
back and forth, just close it. Because my whole issue was, when it gets
Simple.
real crusty and it's just like all the particles and stuff, it just made me nuts.
Yeah.
But if he's one that doesn't mind, and he leaves the top off because that's where he was from. That's what
Right.
he used to do. But with me, I kept it on. So if it really bothers you that much, there's nothing wrong with you just putting the thing on,
That's it.
because that saves so much.
Saves so much argument and so
You know
much
what I'm saying?
distress.
It just saves so much. So, EP Wayne, I wasn't, because my
EP,
problem be my text messages be.
he hasn't given us a warning, so we still have. Oh, we have a couple
Oh,
more
okay,
minutes. So,
good.
like you said, it's true. Like marriage there's so many things that go into it. So, getting rid of these little small petty arguments will
Oh,
help you go a long way. And
and I
so,
think that's why I think like this. I really do think like we could help a lot of the young ladies
yeah.
with
And that's the
this.
goal. Like
Yeah,
we want to help. Like we don't know everything. We're not
right.
marriage professionals. We're not saying that our marriage was just peachy cozy. No, we
It
had our
wasn't.
complications. We have our issues, but we just, it's important for us. If we had some of these talks before we got married, it wouldn't be a surprise to us.
I
Um,
really, really believe that. I
yeah,
really believe that.
with certain
Yeah.
things, it wouldn't be a surprise to us. So it's just a conversation, and this is just part one because surviving the 5 years, that is a whole journey in and of itself. So this
It
is just
is.
episode one
It
of
is.
some
It is.
tidbits. Don't let social media be your guide. Don't let social media be your model.
No.
Create your
Create your
own
own.
couples in your marriage. Yes,
Create your
personalize
own.
it to you, to fit you
Yep.
and your spouse. And then
Yep.
cultural. Don't allow your culture to define your marriage. I mean, your marriage is your marriage and it's your business. So how
And
you want to operate in your marriage,
period.
yeah, since they
And
ask
just like
us,
you said, you know, um, make it your own. Like make the
right,
relationship fit, you and your spouse.
you.
If everybody's going on a date night and your spouse likes to come and lay on the couch and flip the channels, maybe make a fufu night on Wednesdays.
You
Where
know
it
what?
yeah, you
You know
have
what?
like a sun
You know
cooking.
what?
No, no, no.
And then sister, I said it's a compromise, Kakre Bibiam, because
No, no,
empty
no,
me
no.
fufu night
If you if
every week.
you know you're married, you cannot come and tell him, say, I want to go on a date night. I want to go to this restaurant. That's not him. You know that. So don't
Compromise.
try to shove that down his throat, because
Right.
that's what everybody's, showing on social media. That's what people are doing. If
Right.
he's a homebody that wants to be on the couch, that
Yeah.
doesn't want to go home, do something at home. It's even cheaper.
You can make a romantic dinner at home. I tried that one time. It was actually very cute. But
Watch
marriage
that.
is
Yeah.
about compromise. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like you're saying, you may not have a spouse that wants to go out every week and go out to restaurants and eat steak and stuff. Maybe he likes his local dishes, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe doing something at home might be feasible, or just, also your spouse every once in a blue moon. If it's once a quarter, also meeting your spouse, your wife on the other end and taking them out. Marriage is about compromise, but know your
Yeah.
spouse, right? Don't try to
Yeah.
make them someone that they're not, because
Yeah.
what you're doing is setting yourself up for a whole bunch of arguments, a whole bunch of sleepless nights that are not
Disappointment.
worth it. Because marriage is beautiful. Like,
Oh,
even though I get the whole, human size teddy bears, I love my man. Okay. And,
my man, my
we
man, my
enjoy
man.
my man, my
Hello.
man, my man. And we
Mm-hmm.
enjoy marriage. And I see Sister Ya and Daddy P, they are on a honeymoon over 40 on honeymoons. So, you
Period.
can make your marriage fit you.
Yeah.
But just take your time. It wasn't, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Rome was the EP. Look, EP said, EP, yeah, my goodness. Okay, EP said time is up. This is part one. So please join us next time as we continue surviving the first 5 years of marriage. It is the survival of
Yes.
the fittest. We will
Survival
get
of the
through. We
fittest.
have gotten through. Just
Yes.
continue to pray, continue to allow God's grace to reign in your marriage, and allow that beauty that comes out of marriage to be your portion. Thank you all.
Yes.
Please like, share, subscribe.
Thank you guys. Be
Love
blessed.
you. Bye.
It's that chat, come join the fun. Laughing, sharing, everyone. Heart to heart, but never apart. Together we make the best of us.